Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Burman here on Delco Sports 360, cmpradio.net. And my special guest, I'm proud to have him in here, the pride of Ridley High School, class of 2002, Matt Millard. And Matt, thanks a lot for coming into the show. Played for Ridley, some incredible teams, incredible coaches back in the day. And then, of course, through your career there, 4 years, your freshman year through senior, 31-14, not bad against insane competition. And now, of course, founder of Next Level Athletics at the Fort Delco Gym. All right, Matt, tell us the life story. Mom and dad, where you grew up, and that kind of stuff.
What's going on? Glad to be on the show.
Oh, thanks, man. A little fist pump there. Here we go.
So, mom and dad. My dad grew up in Essington, Tinicum.
Did he go to Essington High School?
He went to Interboro.
And
yeah. He went to Ridley, South or North first. And
Right.
then when they split, he actually went to Interboro. My mom lived in Glen Olden.
Right.
She went to Interboro. That's when they met. And then
I keep thinking, because Essington had one heck of a high school football program back in the day. Ben Davis's dad, Bill Teg Davis, the grandson, plays for Malvern Prep and now going to probably pros baseball. But anyway, Bill was one heck of a quarterback for old Essington. I find all those stuff online. So rich sports history. So anyway, dad, Essington, mom, and right around Interboro.
Yeah, and then so I grew up playing football for Prospect Park Termites.
Yeah.
And I was living in Ridley, and I was actually living in Clifton Heights. And our mailing address is Seacane, but it depends. You can be Seacane or Clifton Heights. And I just wanted to play football. My dad knew of Prospect Park. So we were playing there, and there was, I played there for 4 years. We dominated Burt Bell League. We were really good. I played there until I was, I guess, the 135-pounders, right up until I started middle school football for Ridley. And then played a little bit of that season and then went to middle school football. Played at our Ridley High School or Ridley Middle School's team for 2 years and then went on to play at Ridley High School.
Wow. So when you're growing up in that area and the rich history of Ridley football, you had to be just in awe of going to the stadium, beautiful field, the game, the public address announcer, the games on TV, and just the unbelievable history and coaches they've had. Yeah,
definitely. McNick, all those guys. But it was funny because both of my parents went to Interboro, so we were very, we knew the Interboro-Ridley rivalry type thing. But my mom actually taught at Nether Providence before.
My alma mater, 76.
Yeah, and she taught there until my sister was born. Until my sister and I were born, she stopped teaching there. And when she went back to teaching, she got a job at Ridley. So they were actually looking at one point in Strathaven. To live. I might have been at Strathaven.
I think the taxes are lower. We live in Wallingford, Swarthmore. I think they're a little lower in Ridley.
Probably.
So that's incredible. So your mom, any idea what range she worked at Nether Providence?
Oh, she's going to kill me.
No, because at 76, would she have been there in 1976? Remember, I'm 60.
She would have to have been because she was there up until my sister was born in 80.
Okay, there you go. So she was there. She knew Chalky Wright with the Athletic, Coach Tags, been there forever. And we had some unbelievable guy. Jimmy Mack was our coach. Jim McFadden, he had a raspy voice. I don't know if you ever ran into him. I'm starting to talk like Ken. But I was okay as a player. I was a pretty good athlete. I'm still playing today, basketball and stuff. But just these guys were just too good. You have to have discipline. I didn't have that. I didn't like taking directions from my coaches. I just wanted to play pickup ball. Street hockey was big back when I was growing up, the Broad Street Bullies. But so anyway, back to you, Matt, here. So then you go to Ridley High School. And
so I knew that rich history, and I was playing for Coach Batty. My first 3 years.
Ralph Batty. You start your 97. Well, you played from 97, 98 to 99.
No, it'd be 99 through 2002. So 99, 2000, 2000, 2001, 2002.
Okay, so Ralph was at those from 97 to 2000, 3 years. Then John,
I had John in 2002.
2002.
My senior year, he came.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
So what was it like playing for Ralph Batty? Right?
Batty, yeah.
Okay.
Coach Batty, I mean, if anyone knows anything about him, he was just a defensive genius. I mean, he literally, I feel if you learned high school football defense under Coach Batty, you could play at college level just because of how detailed and how disciplined he made your game. Like, there was film watch, everything we did was to the T. Things that were more advanced than I feel like other high schools were doing at the time. And then so we were more of like a defensive-minded team. Brian Thompson, who was, in my opinion, one of the best offensive coordinators I've ever played under. He was the offensive coordinator at the time. He was great with the offense. We had our junior year, we had an issue with, remember Louis Cruz? We had
that's the article I found.
Yes,
yeah, he was ineligible for some reason.
Yeah, so our first 4 games we were undefeated, and because Louis wasn't of age, but he just ran down on kickoffs.
Just too old, huh?
Too old.
Well, they said too. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to forfeit our first 4 games.
What year is that again?
That was my junior year.
Right.
So that was 2001.
Right.
That was with Mike Ewing, Eric Engel, Rory Friel, Howie Lawrence.
Right.
All those guys. We had a great team too. The biggest team I think Ridley's ever had.
Right.
Size-wise.
It's unbelievable. Then, so Ralph, why did he leave?
He didn't leave. Coach Waller came in. I think Ralph I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think he stepped down as the head coach.
Okay. Right.
And Waller came in.
Yeah.
Ralph still did the defense.
Oh, nice. So he was assistant for Waller.
Yep. And he was a defensive coordinator even when eventually when I was playing the Arena League after college, when Coach Waller asked me to come back and coach from 06, 7 to 12, Ralph was still there doing the defense. Mm-hmm. Waller was there doing the offense. Coach Waller was offensive.
I just heard he's a wild man. That's all. And he's a Chester guy, right?
Chester guy,
so
yep.
you actually seen his house down here.
Yeah. We went to his house. Coach Waller was awesome. He was everything Coach Batty was on the offensive side of the ball. So we had like the best of both worlds. And then you had, like I said, Brian Thompson. I'm not going to leave him out because he was unbelievable. Great coach. One of my favorite coaches of all time.
So the years there, 98, you're a freshman.
Yep.
99, sophomore. Yep. 2000, junior.
99, I'm a freshman. 2000, I'm a sophomore. 2001, I'm a junior. 2002, I'm a senior.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. There you go. So you graduated 2003 then, actually.
No, I graduated
2002. So 2001 was the last year.
Yeah.
You're right in the middle of that Strathaven run from 1996, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. And they won in that period, went to the state finals 4 times, won 2, 99, 2000. What was it like playing against those guys? I think you only played against Connor maybe 2 years. 2 years, yeah. Okay.
Connor was a freshman when I was a junior.
So you had to play against Clancy, Tags, among others.
Celebrate, Hannum, Mark Jones. You had Zach Love, the Connors, all those guys.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in 8th grade, in middle school, my mom remembers this too. We were down at the middle school field and Strathaven came in. Part of that team came in, and it looked like a high school team, size-wise.
And you're in 8th grade.
8th grade. I'm still in middle school.
96 or 97, but.
I'm going to say 97. 98. Fall, 98, 97.
Right.
I get that out.
Yeah, I know.
Football season messes me up.
Yeah, it does. So I'm trying to get it straight here. But yeah, man, because 96 they finally, and Clancy's still there, is an unbelievable job. What more can you say? I mean, 2 state titles, only Delaware County high school team to win a state championship in football. Yeah. So which is amazing.
And they were 5A and they were beating 6A teams. I mean,
exactly.
Like they could have held their own with anybody.
So could you hang with them any of the games?
My senior year, we hung with them. My junior year, I don't think so. I think we got beat pretty good. But my senior year,
2001.
Yeah, 2001, we hung with them really good. It came down. I think we lost by 8 or 7.
So they won 90. 3 years in a row they played Tyler Palco and West Allegheny in the finals.
He went to Pitt, right?
Yep, Pitt.
Yeah.
And then Paul Puzzlezzi against Connor, 2002.
Yeah.
So you were there. It was just unbelievable. So 2001, they lost the state finals finally to Palco, and then to Puzzlezny the year after that.
Right. Yep. And so playing them was, just like anybody, you had to bring your A game. But for them, it was like playing a college team.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
A lot of guys went.
They all went, and we had a couple guys, myself, a few guys who would have played at the next level, but they had, it seemed, at every single Sean Gray.
My man Sean, still doing his thing in
Gray,
Chester, yeah.
Mike Calder, I played with him at Kutztown.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I had played,
Chris Edwards, we've had Chris on the show, yeah.
Buck Moore.
Buck,
Brian,
tremendous.
I have his son.
And his son's won a state championship at Imhotep. He's a beast.
Yeah, one of my guys. But they were, like I said, you can't talk down on that team because they were that good.
Yeah, and in 2003, that fall, Dan Connor was a senior. Right. Last game ever. A little trivia here. I don't know. You were at Kutztown at that time, bro. Yeah. So his last game, state semifinal game against Mike Williams and Mannheim Central, who always lost to Berwick and Strathaven in like the state quarters or state semis. And finally, it was at Coatesville. Windstorm, just a windstorm, 3-0 final. It's a 3-0 final, Mannheim Central. And then they finally won their first state championship ever, beat Pine Richland from Pittsburgh. That was a blizzard the next week, 2003. Yeah. Star player for Pine Richland, because you love multi-sport athletes. Yeah. Neil Walker had a great career in the Major League Baseball. Yeah. So, and then Strathaven, finally a little bit down, but still, back up again. So, but yeah, the Central League's one of the toughest, divisions in the state.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it comes with a lot of history, a lot of rich history. You got, if you look at, I'm not just saying it because it's my high school, but if you look at Ridley's, they're ranked in the top 25 of the most winningest programs in the country, from McNick and our other coach,
Phil Marion.
Phil Marion.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah.
Field. McNick, Phil Marion, and then all through. They're one of the most winningest programs in history, and that's what you grew up on. You grew up playing, you're going to play for Ridley. Yeah. And it was, as a little kid, you're running around that field on Friday nights, just can't wait for your turn.
And they have a nice website. They have a historical, and I showed it to Coach, now athletic director, LaDante Bell did a great job, Chester, building the program back football. And LaDante, I said, man, it would be great to Chester High, because I have all the history, year by year stuff, and the coaches back for 135 years ago. So it'd be nice to have a website like they do. It's so easy to navigate. As every year, it's Central League champs and the coaches, and just unbelievable. So Ridley. So you graduate, you go to Kutztown. Yeah. And was Mike Iannacci your announcer there? Because he did Kutztown games over the years.
He didn't do any of my games at Kutztown, but I went to Kutztown. Originally, I was having recruit visits to Syracuse. Paul Pasqualoni, the head coach for Syracuse, left. Ended up going to Kutztown. Talked to like Andre Reed, John Mobley, and those guys. Played there for 4 years. Started there for 4 years. Safety, played some outside linebacker, played corner. We were always, I think we were like an 8-3-ish team those 4 years. Now they're killing it.
Yeah, they're preseason number one. I don't know when
they are. I always just missed the years we started killing it.
Yeah, beautiful. Andre Reed Stadium. John Mobley still gives back to the community. Chichester High School grad, two-time Super Bowl champ, world champ with the Denver Broncos. Yep. And that's really hard to do. So, And tell me about all some of the pros that Ridley has produced over the years. Now, you're too young to remember Matt Blunden. He almost made it. But
that's the names you always hear. Matt Blunden.
But I'm old.
Valerio.
I was on the radio in Central PA at that time, but now I'm getting caught up on this stuff. He took Ridley to the state semis in basketball in 1986. Really?
That's something I didn't
know. Carlisle had a guy named Billy Owens. They won 4 straight state titles in boys basketball. I was the radio announcer up there at the time, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88. All 4 years, they beat a Delco team in the state semis. Chester 3 times. That's unbelievable. Think of that.
Chester's
and then Ridley in 86. So, and Bobby Robinson played on that team as a freshman, 86. So, and Matt Blunden. And then Valerio, right?
Yeah, Valerio.
And Kuberski?
Yeah, and Kuberski, yep. So, we never really saw those guys. They never really came and talked with us. But you knew that those guys made it out of there. And that's what everyone's dream was, to make it out of there like that. So, Yeah, they got some really rich history there.
After you graduated Kutztown, what year would that have been? 2000?
2006. So I left early. My agent Marvin Frazier, he picked me up after Kutztown, and he took me to Florida. You remember Chris Henry for the Bengals?
No, yeah.
So I lived with Chris. Chris Henry.
Man.
My agent was his agent. We picked up a guy, which is James' last name. He's a linebacker for UConn. He actually went to Detroit. James, what's his last name? Well, he had a few of us because Marvin was a small school guy. He took me, kid from UConn, kid from Jacksonville State, kid from ECU, Eastern Carolina. We took us down to Florida. I trained with Dennis Mitchell and Michael Johnson for 10 weeks for the draft, for our pro day. We lived down there with Chris. Chris unfortunately died.
Wow.
Yeah, that accident, you can find that accident online, but yeah, that was a shame. He was one of the best receivers Cincinnati had. He was up and coming. Mm-hmm. And then he had a shot at Cincinnati, didn't make it there, got signed to came back. The Arena League played in the spring. So I was training at Velocity Sports Performance in Cherry Hill, and Mike Quick was my guy there.
Nice.
So I was training with Trotter, Quentin Michael, Quick, Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepard, all those guys. They were actually Quentin Michael was my training partner. And we were trying to get me looked somewhere, and then all of a sudden the guy said, "Hey, do you want to play in the Arena League?" And I didn't even know what it was. Mm-hmm. And I said, I started looking it up, me and my dad. It was either that or the CFL. Back then the CFL only allowed, I think, 3 American positions at the time. So decided to go the Arena League route, played in New York, played there for 2-3 years, then played the Arena League folded. They told us they expanded too fast. Like I'm talking about when the Arena League was on ESPN. The Soul won it, and then after the Soul won it, the Arena League folded. And then when they came back, the guys' checks were getting, it went from you're getting paid like $91,000 a game to like $800 a game.
And this is what years are that? I remember the Soul winning, and I thought they won 2.
They did win 2, but I think it was after their second time winning it. That's when the league folded.
Well, Dick Vermeil was like general manager.
Yep. And then Bon Jovi and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Jaworski.
Boy, that goes fast.
Yeah.
So that was in the last 10 years?
Yeah. So then I left New York, and there was a league called the IFL, which was like competing with the AFL. Mm-hmm. And that was in Reading, the Reading Express.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And I won a ring with them. And then during that time, that's when Coach Waller called me and asked me, "Hey, on your off seasons, because Arena played in the spring, so you got film for the pros again. Do you want to come down and coach Ridley?" And that was my first year in Arena. I said, "Sure." And that's where my run of coaching Ridley came into play, from 06 or 07.
I was at the game against Pennsbury.
Yeah. That was the year that I stopped. So that was
I think it was 2006.
So then that was the year. Not the year that I stopped. The year right before I came.
I drove down, took some guys from Central PA where I was. Actually, Chester had a basketball game
later.
later.
Green, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Oh no, the Falcons. They were black and orange a little bit. Yeah,
were they? Okay.
But the game was at Ridley, and they beat you up.
Yeah,
it was a district. It was a district game.
So
anyway,
Coach Waller called me to help come coach. I was going to coach receivers and defensive backs. Coached a lot of good guys there. We went on made it to 2 state semifinal games. Lost against Parkland, a very, very close game. Up in, I think we played at Wilson, or Easton. So we played at Easton.
It's a home area game for Parkland. Yeah,
and then we lost 2 years later at LaSalle.
Yeah, in the state semifinals. Yeah, that was the first. That was the first Philadelphia Catholic League team to win it all in football. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I'm sitting there outside the locker room, and I'm playing Arena at the time, and LaSalle comes out of the locker room, and I just came out of the locker room with our kids, and they walked by me, and I was like, "Oh." But we hung tough. You did what you could do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, they've been over. They're still competitive, obviously, but it's just
we had a great team.
St. Joe's Prep is just ridiculous in football over the years. Unbelievable. All these guys. You work with a lot of kids. So
I actually coached Dion Shaw, who I work with constantly.
Right.
Dion was one of my best guys I coached.
He was a beast. And Dennis went to West Catholic, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I also coached with Dennis Decker too. I'm sorry. Coach with
I
Dennis.
never met him. I
Yeah.
heard he's a trip.
He's a man, dude.
I heard he's a trip.
Yeah.
I heard he's a pretty fiery guy.
Yeah,
What's he doing now?
He was teaching. He led Ridley to their first state championship. He was the
Quarterback,
Yeah.
91.
Yep.
90.
Yeah, he was really good.
90. Yeah, unfortunately, we lost a heartbreaker. But
when-
Steve Mayer was on that team
Yep.
too, pharmacist for us over the
Yeah.
years. You know, Steve.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
he's
Stevie
over
Mayer.
in Swedesboro now. He has a bunch of kids that are doing well.
Yeah, so, then I ended up coaching a bunch of good kids. Guys that could play. And Dion, like I said, with my company and his brand, we put together a coaching clinic now. Basically, we do put our brands together and help these kids train for the next level, basically.
Yeah. So it's called, now what you're doing now is.
Mine is Next Level Athletes. Dion goes by his own thing, D.
Right.
Shaw the Guru, but
All right.
we work together. He does all that.
He's all over. Now, he was assistant coach at Roman, then he
Yep.
went to Imhotep, and
Yep.
where's he now?
He is doing his own thing here. I'm not sure what his future plans are, but as of right now, he has what he's doing training wise.
Yeah.
He's got the best talent in the area, bar none.
But he,
and
his brother's the head coach,
Dennis is another amazing. What LaDante and then Dennis taking over from what they've done with that program. It speaks volumes.
I've seen it firsthand. Been there, a PA guy for the home games. Going into my 10th year already, so I've seen it. Unbelievable progress, and it's a unique style. It's not they're going to run into teams in the district running gun.
Yeah,
and
but it works.
I saw it at Harrisburg, saying you got to take advantage of your athletes. The problem is, and we talked about it before. The referees have trouble officiating games like that, especially Chester. He makes something out of nothing, and then, I just wish they'd let the guys play a little bit more.
2 years ago at Plymouth Whitemarsh when they lost, refs had some terrible calls in that game. I was there
Chester at Plymouth Whitemarsh.
Yeah.
I heard.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
but whatever.
But the
what it is.
but because in the district on tournament coming up, and hopefully we'll get Dennis on my show. I'll send him a message, get him on next week, hopefully next Monday. But you're going to run into teams similar styles. You're going to run into Marple Newtown, Bayard Ruston with Chase Hatton, and you're going to have Garnet Valley in it, the wing tee stuff, and the misdirection, Strathaven. So it's going to be just a grind. Can't let my boys.
Plus, when you
Phoenix, is it Phoenixville? Yeah. So you got them. You got to watch out for them.
Plus, when you get to that next level, down the line in the state playoffs, the line becomes so important. If you can't, I always said, and I was big on it, winning in November and December starts in the weight room. Because if you can't hang quarter after quarter with these beasts from Western Pennsylvania,
yes.
you might be able to score quickly, but after a while, that constant beat down. But then you got, look at Chester's two kids, those two twins, were they?
Same year.
Same year, okay.
Yeah.
But they're getting size, they're getting speed, it's.
I put their preview on my Facebook page today. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Great to see.
Yep.
And they got a lot of the young kids, and the Chester feeder programs are incredible here.
Yeah.
So just like, the termites.
Yeah.
And I wish Patrick Fisher the best first year. Had him on my show already at Interboro. And Dave Wood at Ridley.
Yep.
And but Ridley's losing guys, too, to the private schools.
I think everyone's losing guys to private schools. Nowadays, it's such, say you are talented enough to go to a St. Joe's prep. Are you not going to go? Right. There's a fine line to where, you want to say you'd stay at home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's hard when they're on that platform and they're on a,
You see it firsthand. You coach a lot of these guys. Right. I can't wait to talk about them here in a second.
Yeah.
So this year, 6A, Imhotep 6A football.
Correct.
Defending state champs. Of course, St. Joe's. I heard their defense, according to Bob Long, who's a longtime announcer for LaSalle College High School sports. I don't know if you've met Bob in your travels, but he's unbelievable, this guy. He's everywhere. I don't know how he does it, but it's great to watch his games. He said this is the best LaSalle team, the best St. Joe's prep defense he is ever.
Yeah.
I heard it goes back. So led by Anthony Sacca.
Yeah.
But their offense is young.
Their offense is young, but
Who wins? Everybody's asking me already in the District 12 6A championship. Who's going to win, St. Joe's Prep or Imhotep?
I can't.
Can you make a prediction on that? I said, did I say overtime? I said overtime.
Me personally, I'm not even going to touch that because between the two schools,
Yeah.
I train 12 of them. The 12 of them are my guys.
They're probably going to meet.
They're going to meet, and I think it's to meet to get into the playoffs.
They both play a Catholic League 6A championship and a 6A city championship.
Right.
So it's going to be
the city championship.
This would be the city championship. Public Catholic, then the winner of that plays in the city for the city championship, goes to the state quarterfinals.
Right.
So
one of them's going to be knocked out, and the talent that they both have, I can't. Even if I had to make a prediction, I couldn't because the talent is overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids that I train. I mean, starts local guy, Brian Moore's kid,
right?
Buck Moore's kid, Brian Moore Jr.
Right.
I mean, he's their center. The size on this kid, the feet he has, and he heads that offensive line. Then you got Jabri Wallace Coleman, who's my other guy. He's their starting running back.
Where's he? He
four-star.
Decommitted from Georgia.
Just signed to Penn State.
That's right, Penn State. Yep. Okay.
You have Ty Sear, who's at Penn State now. He just left MOTEP. But you got the two young guys, Easton Neely and Kareem Heck. They're two receivers. Kareem stepped in for Ty Sear last year in the playoffs when Ty Sear couldn't.
I announced that game at Coatesville State semifinal with Strathaven. It's
HAQQ.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The catches he made, I said, this guy's going to be in the NFL someday.
See he's his counterpart. They're two of the same.
All right, so you work with these guys.
Yep.
It's called Next Level Athletics at Athletes at Fort Delco Gym. Where exactly is the Fort Delco Gym?
So Fort Delco Gym. So how I got into that was I was training athletes, and I needed a place that it's hard to find a place right now, a facility. The prices are insane. Right?
We need like a Spooky Nook complex.
Yeah, Spooky Nook, right? Like we talked about. I need like a Division I field house, right? Nothing too big, but somewhere that they can run. And gyms weren't providing that. Tom DeVitro, who's the owner of Fort Delco Gym, I called him up one day and I said, I looked at his facility and he had turf, and he had the complex he has is amazing. It's right over off of McDade Boulevard, right behind Nifty 50s.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, in that industrial park.
Wow.
Yeah, 500 Pine Street. He let me come in and I started training my guys there, and then me and Tom got real close, and the whole gym atmosphere itself there, it's a place that you want to go because we got another trainer there, Chase Bethel. He does all the Upper Darby and Bonner guys, like Aiden, the kid who plays for Westchester, and Jaleel, who just signed to Westchester.
Right.
Not Westchester, West Virginia. Chase has got a plethora of guys from Upper Darby.
I'm trying to think Jaleel's last name.
Jaleel Hill, I want to say.
What high schools he play?
He's at Bonner. He still has another year
left. Okay.
Wide receiver.
All right, that's
like
right.
6'4".
I'm trying to follow it all. Probably he was on the sophomore team to beat Interboro.
I'm not the only one there. Fort Delco has an umbrella, and under that umbrella, we all have our own brand. I do mostly football guys. I have, regular girls and that kind of thing too, but my brand is pretty much based on the top football players in our area from Philadelphia down. Chase has all the top football, and he coaches at Upper Darby too. So he has those kids from, and he does a wonderful job with these kids. There's another girl, Veronica Kirshner there, via strength. She does all our guys' hip mobility. All these things that you don't ever think about training that you do at the next level. That's what we incorporate. We try to get the best coaches and trainers under one roof for these guys that you can possibly have. Like when I wanted to set myself apart. And the way to do that was, hey, some parents are paying for you to go to a speed trainer, a strength and conditioning coach, a nutritionist. And I was like, well, I can do all three.
One-stop shop.
Exactly. And then trying to do it on your own, it's tough when you have this many guys. So I just incorporated, all our trainers are certified, bachelor's degrees, like we all have all of that. So there's no one that you're going to meet there. My speed coach that helps with me, Artie Leach, he was a 100-meter sprinter in college. So everyone has this specific niche, but everyone has done it too at that level, which I think makes us second to none around the area. And unless you got to travel. You got to travel to 10 different people to get 10 different things done.
How long have you had the?
It's going on my second year.
Next level athletes.
Yes.
At the next.
So I would usually go by myself to 7-on-7s to recruit, and that's how I got Dominic Toy. I saw Dennis. I said, Dennis, who's your best guy? He said, turn around. I turned around. There was just
there you go
6'6" dude behind me. I met his parents, and he became quickly one of
hell
my
of a
guys.
basketball player. Oh, also a great basketball player. So
Then I go all the way out to like Sun Valley with Aiden Cook.
yeah, my man, Jim Cook's son.
Jim Cook's son, yeah, Aiden Cook. I mean, I met Aiden when he was just a freshman, skinny kid, and then to watch with 4 years of development under, I don't take credit for anything. I just write the blueprint. They do the work, right? I don't turn them into anything. They do the work. But to watch him progress on a consistent level, day by day, and then to see what he is, all chestnut, big, tall, big, it's awesome to see these kids develop.
So again, with Matt Millard, and Matt, of course, graduated from Ridley 2002 and founded last year, second year, Next Level Athletes at the Fort Delco Gym, of course, in Delaware County. Nifty, right behind Nifty 50s.
Yep.
That's a great place. So real quick before we get back to Next Level Athletes, you're going to be a father sooner than later.
Yeah. Shout out to my wife, Courtney. What's up, babe? We found out we were pregnant. He'll be due, a boy.
Okay.
Carter Matthew. Yeah, he'll be due in December.
Carter Matthew Millard, the ball carrier.
Yeah, it's listen. When we were doing names, that's exactly. I would always say like Carter Millard on the throw, and it worked.
Yeah.
So it was actually my wife that came up with that name, to be honest.
Nice.
But he's coming December. I'm excited. Super excited.
Your life will change.
Yeah.
I never had any kids. I'll tell you that. My brother, Marty, the youngest, has 4 boys. Yeah. Steve, the middle one, 5. And I just never had any children. But that's maybe.
I didn't know if we were going to have any. We went to, a whole different route. But
you'll still be doing your thing. So let's talk about some of the Chester guys, man.
Yeah, man.
That you work with. Fill me in, and we'll try to mention everybody if we can. There's a lot of kids you deal with. Let's talk about our Chester Clippers.
So, first was Dominic Toy. Well, let me talk about Coach Shaw first.
Yes, all right.
I can't. So Dion, like I said, he was a Ridley guy, but he's from Chester.
Right.
Him and his brother. But Dion is, if you're a skilled athlete in this area and you're not working with him, you're doing yourself a disservice. And Dion has helped me because I'm trying to grow my business. And when I would go out and have my guys with Dion, I'd see some of the guys Dion has, and I'd say, hey, listen, are they in a weight room? Are they getting speed training? So we kind of linked up and we started feeding each other players. And he started coming to my gym, and I started going out in the field. And now this whole linkage, that's how I got Abu. That's how I got Tyseer.
Abu Kamara.
Abu Kamara, man. Isaiah Freeman.
What a story.
So I'll start with him if you want to talk. Talk Chester Clippers.
Yeah, Isaiah,
Mr.
junior at Lincoln Division II, all world. Has a chance, I think, to play a pro ball, obviously.
Without a doubt.
And he's raised the bar in that program. And I've known him since little kid running around because he went to school with my nephews back in the day. So anyway, Isaiah, just hard work, multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, Isaiah. I said this to him before, but I even told my wife this. That's the kind of kid you hope your son grows up to be. He's a leader. He's disciplined. He does everything right, and he does more things than most adults do, like with his time outside of football. Charities, 7-on-7, like setting up things. He's got a business. It's like
he's doing the
videography.
Yeah,
he does my films like sometimes for when I
don't know how he has time to do it, man. And work out, stay in shape, and
unreal. And when he comes into the off season, he might have missed this year from January. We run a 30-week off season from January till just the 9th. Isaiah might have missed 4 days total because he had to be somewhere. And even then, we're on the phone. He's texting, I can't wait to get back. Like, the kid is a workhorse. His discipline is second to none. Him and I'd put Abu and Tyseer and like those guys that are really high up. they all do the same things right. They prepare to prepare. That makes sense. They don't wait for me to get them on the bike. They're already doing their thing, and it's just a different level of training. And it starts with Isaiah and those guys. They are my leaders. And then you got Dom, who is just the perfect combination of size, speed, and strength. Dominic Toy.
Hates to lose.
Hates to
big
lose.
time. He's fiery.
Yeah.
But he just protects his teammates too. He's the enforcer, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you got to have one of them, and I like
Yeah.
them. That's my kind of guy.
A guy John Chaney
Up at
would like, the
UConn.
former the Temple coach back in the day. Chaney
Yeah.
in basketball, he had his. I don't want to say the other word, enforcers out there.
Exactly. But
So well, you have to, and it's great to see picking up for your teammate.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so Dom's at UConn, getting some good work there right now. Chester guys that I want is that quarterback. I've talked to
Jalen
and his brother.
Duran,
yeah.
twins.
Yeah, I've talked to them at the Lincoln 7-on-7, so we have spoke. But they're next on my list. I've talked to Coach Shaw about them. But and then let's talk about Dennis. I mean, like we said before in the beginning,
By the way, Dennis's mom.
Dennis, I love Mrs. Shaw.
You know where she went to high school?
No.
Nether Providence.
Did she?
Yeah. There you go. And so your mom may
have.
Yeah. So I got a picture with him at the car wash.
Yeah.
At the car wash a couple of weeks ago, the fundraiser for Chester. So finally met the mom. So anyway, behind every great man is a great woman.
Yeah. I mean, what Dennis is doing with that program, like I said before, I mean, having all the college recruiting come in and really showing that to those kids. And it shows when you have like an Isaiah and a Dom who are getting out and going to these big time programs and along with their other athletes that you can produce that. Like, this isn't it. You know what I mean? And when you start bringing in those big time college programs and these kids really see it firsthand, they say, all right, this is no joke. These guys really know who we are. I mean, there's not a coach around that's really doing better work than that with getting their kids college exposure. In my
So
opinion.
let's say there's all these people are watching the show and they want to get their kid involved in your program. Next level athletes.
So that's a tough part. I've been approached before I usually handpick them. And I've been asked before, why don't you just take anybody? Because with what I've been through, my college experience, pro experience, training experience, degrees and all that, these kids train different. They need different, if that makes sense. They need to be, they're not just being trained, they're being fine-tuned. Like Dion always said, he's like, we expect you to be fast now. That's the prerequisite. Now it's can you control that speed? You know what I mean? And the way I would work out a kid who is just playing high school football compared to the kid who is, sleeping with his helmet on, it's different. You know what I mean? It was the kind of training I wish I always had. These kids are different. They have that whatever that it is. And that's who I go after. Is that maybe a flaw of mine? Yes, but they also need a different kind of training. They need a harder type of training, and I'm not easy on them. I've thrown half of them out before just for being 2 minutes late. Like, it comes down to
It's like a military attitude, sort of.
that, and I tried to tell them before a couple of them got mad at me, but it's not for me. It's for them.
Yeah.
You can't have a college coach come into your house and you can't be on your phone with your head down or not say hi to them. You have to be able to look them in the eye, shake them in the hand, or shake their hand.
There you go.
And you have to be on time. If you don't be late to if you're not going to be late for Nick Saban, why would you be late for me?
Right.
And this is how you're going to help get there. You know what I mean? So I'm big on punctuality. I'm big on finding me and shaking my hand in the beginning. And they all know that now. And if someone comes late, you can see everybody's reaction. Like, you know what I mean? But it's a good thing. It's like I said, it's for me, but it's for them.
So yeah, you're pretty much in the embryonic stages of
Yeah.
your thing. So is this a full-time thing for you, or do you have a full-time?
I have a full-time job, a full-time sheet metal local 19 worker in Philly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I staying in.
Yeah, I start at 4 in the morning, end my day at 2 or 1:45. I'm home by 2:30. I'm at the gym by 3 until 10.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
so talk about some of the other guys you're working with.
Um,
You had a whole Kobe Towns.
Kobe Towns.
He's
yeah.
going into 8th grade.
Going
That's
into
right.
eighth
Going
grade.
into 8th grade.
He's the top-ranked pro-style quarterback in the class of 2029.
And John Pierre, we had his father, Kevin Towns, Strathaven grade basketball, and we had his and KJ, Kobe's older brother, on our show,
Yeah.
and they were awesome. So hopefully we can get Kobe on someday.
Yeah,
so I announced his
definitely.
games summer 2020. We had a South, not South Media. We had Ambler Whitpain up in Montgomery County. So and I saw right there. So he was. You see my picture with him. I'm
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like much taller than him, but now he's way taller than me now.
He is 6'1", well, probably 6'2" by today.
Well, Kevin's like 6'5".
175, 180 pounds, and he throws like an adult. I mean, it's
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't want to leave any guys out.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
So you got Abu, who...
We had him on our show, Kamara. Yeah. It's
Delaware
Kamara.
County.
Kamara. Okay, yeah.
Delaware County's rushing
Yeah.
leader at Yale.
At Yale.
You know, starting. You
Yep.
know, he had the game-clinching sack last year as a freshman. I was at the game versus Harvard for the
nice.
Ivy League championship.
That's great. You support those guys too when you get a chance. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Tolu, he played with Abu at
Okay.
Innerberg. He's with Isaiah at Lincoln. Connor Kelly, between Connor Kelly and Nate Romano, and then I'd say probably James Fisher from Strathaven.
Oh yeah, I got to ask you about
Between those three, one of those three should win Delaware County Player of the Year next year. I mean, Connor Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, they also have Jalen
Duran. Yeah.
Duran. Yeah.
and,
between those five,
yeah, right.
but one of these guys like Connor Kelly and Nate Romano are two linebackers.
Connor's playing for who? What
Ridley.
He's a Ridley guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's led the whole league in tackles his 3 years. He blew out his ACL his sophomore year, but I mean, he had 19 tackles in the first half agast Garnet Valley.
I appreciate you keeping me up to date with
Oh,
this
yeah.
stuff. I'm trying.
Connor's getting looked at by Penn, Lafayette, Towson. He's everywhere.
Okay.
Villanova.
Right.
Then you got Nate Romano from Springfield.
Okay. Springfield Delco, man, good coach.
Yeah.
Steve Lennox, I think, is assistant coach for them.
He is.
But I found stuff on him. I did a post on him the other day. Man, what a legend
Yeah,
from
he is.
his Delaware days, his
Interboro.
Collingdale days. Yeah, and of course, Interboro. All right, so you got
And then I
him.
got Tubby Mills. who
Tubby
was
is going to be a sophomore
at East Stroudsburg.
Okay, he came on strong a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
last
So
year.
he broke the county record until Abu broke his
broke
record
his
the next year.
Yep.
Kameen Pale, who was like family to me, like a nephew, he had every D1 scout looking at him in the nation, and then he's playing at Monroe Junior College right now to get his.
Is
you know,
that
work with his
in
grades.
Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area?
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn,
Yeah.
New York?
Yep. Rochelle.
Okay, yeah.
Rochelle,
Yeah, I
right
know
in-
where Rochelle is, yeah.
Ty Sear. Ty Sear, who is
Denmark.
Denmark.
Who
is
just...
probably the best athlete I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but he started at Roman.
Roman,
Right?
yep.
Okay, then went
Had
to
a-
Imhotep.
Went to Imhotep, had a full ride to Oregon,
Right.
decommitted, went to Penn State, kind of like Jabri.
Well, Franklin's got some recruits,
Yeah,
man.
he's got some recruits.
All
and,
right, it's all about... Anyway.
and right now, Ty Sear is he's got a buzz up there, big time.
Okay,
He's got
like-
a very good chance to play or even maybe start by how things go.
And Jabri Wallace Coleman going to be a senior,
Senior,
at,
yep,
at Imhotep. Yeah,
And he just signed.
nice
so
kid.
that- oh yeah, very nice.
Met these
kid.
guys
Great
after
kid.
the game. Yeah.
Probably a Sunday talent in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean
And Ty
these
Sear.
guys are unbelievable.
Talked about Brian Moore Jr., Issa Neely, Kareem. I have Samaj Hill and Brandon Lockley. They're your corner and starting linebacker / safety for St. Joe's Prep defense with Saka. These kids are.
So some of the guys. So
Remember
you
those
know.
two names.
So the defense are going to be tough to stop.
Samaj is a lockdown corner. If you look at any of our films, he is a lockdown corner to the fullest extent.
Wow.
And Brandon Lockley, he's a local guy, Delaware County guy, lives right over in Glen Olden, but he goes to St. Joe's Prep. He is.
Whoever wins District 1 6A is going to have to play
Yeah,
St. Joe's Prep. I'll say St. Joe's Prep or Imhotep in the state semis.
exactly.
So it could. I'm hoping. I don't want to offend anybody. But since I announced for Coatesville and they're 6A, I'd like to see. And Coatesville could. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they could, but that's going to be up for grabs. So we'll see. But yeah.
So then
yeah.
I got two young guys from Prep. Andre Watson Jr., he's going into freshman at Prep this year, and so is Trey Roberts, John Roberts' son.
Oh wow.
From over in Eddystone.
So So I barely, but I mean, I heard the name before.
They're 8th graders going to prep. They got signed by prep.
And you think they could start?
They are probably not going to start, but they will be. I mean, Trey Roberts is every bit of 6'3", 6'4" as an 8th grader. And
What high school would they have gone to?
Ridley and John Roberts or Trey would have went to Ridley, and Andre would have went to. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not sure where he would have went
All
to.
right, so you got those guys. Okay.
Yeah, Ashton Smith, who's also a St. Joe's prep linebacker.
So they love you. They love you.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Sean Manley, who is a receiver starting this year for Ridley, slot receiver. Well, actually, probably an outside receiver. He's done a lot of good work this year. Number 22 or number 2 this year, I think.
Right.
Dom Toy, Amaj Gallons, who played at Newman Goretti, who Cardinal O'Hara went after big time, and they got him. My buddy.
Mike. He's building.
Ewing.
He's building.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
building. And Amaj is going to be
he's
a staple there.
What grade's he going into?
He is either going to be a sophomore or a junior. Not sure. He's got a couple years left.
Cardinal
and he
O'Hara.
is a man.
Right.
Kid's a man.
Yeah.
Colin Shum. Now, Colin is the quarterback at Ithaca College, 6'4". He was local, I believe. He had a lot of. I got to look at his background, but Colin has a cannon. Big guy, smart kid. Right. Samir Mosley, who played at he plays at Upper Darby corner. Mm-hmm. He's young. Well, he's not young, but he's. Then you said Kobe Towns. Then I got Ibrahim Sanago, who played at Academy.
Sanago, yeah, played basketball too.
He was at Cal U, and now he just got his D1 to Albany.
All right. I knew he was at.
Yeah, he's at Albany now. Feme. Now I don't know how to. Ijiboy. I always ask him how to say his last name, but he is the freshman running back at University of Minnesota.
Okay.
He's fighting for time. Yeah, he went to Penn Charter.
All right.
Check out his
Interact.
film. Yeah. Jameer Dixon, wide receiver at Franklin Pierce. Young kid, very fast. Like keeps up with the Ty Sears and those guys speed wise. Mm-hmm. Aiden. Christian Palmer, who was probably one of my top guys. He just signed to he was at Roman, and he's at Roman. Just signed to Monmouth. Had Temple interest, had Syracuse interest, had Rutgers interest.
Right. Well, we all know that Roman's going to play the District 1 champ in the 5A semifinals.
Yeah, you're going to remember that name
probably
too.
Good chance it could be Chester Roman.
Yeah, Christian Palmer. Remember that.
They should be playing 6A, but anyway.
And then Will Velasquez, he was Ridley's safety last year. He just got a scholarship to King's College, Division III.
Good, Division III. That's a great program.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ryan Carroll, who is Ridley's quarterback this year, will be going on his 3rd year as a starter.
So this is Ridley could have a really good year this year.
Ridley could have a really good year.
They kind of struggled last year.
They got a lot of
pressure on Coach Wood, man. Whew.
Like I said, I'm really good friends with Coach Larkin, their offensive coordinator, and they have, especially led by Connor Kelly.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen him play or seen his film,
no Strathaven, except for Fisher.
I don't have Fisher.
Oh, you don't have Fisher.
No Strathaven guys.
But
I got my Strathaven guys and Buck's kid.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Right. Man,
it's a talented lineup.
So do you talk to a lot of coaches? I mean,
the reason why I don't I don't coach high school, but the reason I can do a lot more with what I'm doing because the coaches I've had who are a couple of them in the NFL, a lot of college guys that I've played with or coached under, and then a lot of guys who've coached me. I can, about 17 schools I can contact for these guys when they wouldn't be allowed to. You know what I mean? In high school, you can't talk to them until they're a junior. When I can call and be like, hey, listen, I got a guy. He's a sophomore. He's young, but watch out for him. And then bring them to their camps and let them get an early look at him. So it's kind of a way to get in.
So Chris Gicking at Marble,
yes.
right?
Yep.
All the coaches,
yep.
Some great ones here. Jason Voshesky, Ridley grad.
Guy, yep.
He's a pretty intense dude at Academy Park.
Yep.
I just hope the Del Val gets better all around. Like it's now Chester, and maybe one of the most athletic high school football teams you will see the next 2 years. Ever in Delaware County. Yeah. I mean, pure athleticism is going to be off the charts.
I watched all their 7-on-7s this year, and it's a lot of them, and especially the one up in Lincoln that Isaiah hosted.
Oh, I missed that. I heard about it. Yeah,
and it was they blew everyone out. I mean, it wasn't even.
Again, they are a tough. Some of these teams, like I know Harrisburg, you have more athletic teams. It's tough to officiate.
It is.
You got to just let the kids play, because I know, and I love Strathaven, and I love the Garnet Valleys. I know, even though it's a bunch, it's like a tight formation, and there's a little. You can call a hold on every play.
Yeah,
my God, John Pierre, how many times?
With the wing tee, I mean,
that's a hard dog. I don't know how these kids run it.
The wing tee is tough to defend, but if you get up on the wing tee, it's hard for a wing tee to come back because they don't have that real deep.
Well, that's what Imhotep did. Imhotep was,
Jones.
you saw Chester heartbreaker to Strathaven. Strathaven played Imhotep. They couldn't stop Imhotep. Could not stop, and Imhotep did a great job stopping them. But they still found a way to score a couple of touchdowns, Strathaven. But
as a defense, if you can just stick with your keys against the wing tee.
Well, they're learning. And Chester learned last year. But
we
got some monsters. You'll be keeping in touch with Dennis.
Oh, of course.
I hope he can come on the air next week. It'd be awesome.
Coaches, all those guys. I mean, they do a great job.
Do you do just Delco? You do Chester County? Anybody there?
I'll take anybody.
A kid like Chase Hatton.
I don't even know who
Oh, my God. The kid from Ruston last year. We beat him by a touchdown, but he was unbelievable. It was Ruston, Chester.
I'll take all the talent I can get.
Well, look, can you contact parents on Facebook? You're allowed to do that?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the Chase. And his dad won. Remember last year, the 50-50 was one. We had a 50-50, and it was won by a Ruston fan, and I was announcing it over. Finally, I saw a guy run around the track flying. It was Chase's dad.
Okay.
It was great. It was a great story. So I finally met the parents. But there's so many great players. Yeah. Coatesville's got some studs.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing, like I said, is that it's not just me. Like, I team up with all these different other trainers. It's under me, but it's not. You know what I mean? We have people help everywhere. To train the best, you got to have the best.
Right.
And you got to check your ego at the door sometimes and say, hey, listen, I need help. And why not bring the best in for these kids and make it one big atmosphere, and one of the best atmospheres we have around here.
Right down the road in Delaware, man. And that's where your son, Jean Pierre, he's at Mount Pleasant. Does he play football?
No.
Okay.
No, he wanted to. But
okay. But they got some nasty football down there, man.
Right.
Not only Sally's.
Isaac is a wide receiver, right?
Yeah. Oh, for Mount Pleasant. Okay. Yeah, I did some. So anyway, you got Delaware too, Coach.
Right. Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
I'll call you Coach.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So how can people reach out to you just for questions?
I have.
You're the legendary Matt Millard
now. They reach out mostly on Facebook. Like I said, it's kind of getting to the point now where the kids, the big time kids, are just saying, "Hey, listen, I got another guy from prep that wants to come," or like another guy from Imhotep, or this and that. And I'll look them up and I'll take them, but I always meet with them first. Because some kids say they want to train, but you can tell by looking at the kids' eyes if they really want it. I've been to parents' houses before. It's usually the parents and the kid have to meet with me first. Mm-hmm. That's a non-negotiable, right? Yeah. So because I've had it where a kid's parents have left the room and I've been talking to the kid and I said, "Do you really want to do this?" And the dad yelled in from the other room, "Yeah, he does." And I'm not asking him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Right.
So you can tell by the look in the kid's face. Some of the time you come in there and you say what you're saying, and the kid's looking at you like you got 10 heads, and you know it's really the parents. Yeah. I've had a lady told me that her kid is going to the NFL, and I said, "Oh wow!" I said, "Great." I said, "Who is he?" "Oh, he's 10 years old." I'm like, it's you get them. So I really started just kind of hand choosing. Because I don't want any cancers in the group.
Right. You don't want to get back into maybe a high school coach? You see yourself being a high school coach someday? Head coach?
Head coach? Yeah, I would love to.
All right. Okay. Or you're young. Well, you graduated 2002. You got to be
40.
40.
Yeah,
okay.
40. I'm getting old, man.
Right.
Yeah. No, but I would definitely, defense is my thing, but I would love the head coach.
Yeah. And then someday down the road, maybe college, but yeah.
All
right, man. We're out of time, man. It's unbelievable. And it was great talking about your history. Eddie Stone.
Appreciate you having me on.
Jean Pierre, it's a great. We've had all kinds of different, different shows here.
Yeah.
They're very interesting.
Yeah.
And
I looked the whole website up. It's a unique place, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So. We will see you down the road. It was great having you. Okay, thank you. I got to find some of your Kutztown stuff. I'm sure there's pictures.
I got tons of it.
Yeah. So, all right. Once again, Matt Millard. That's Mill, right?
A-R-D.
A-R-D.
Yep.
Class of 2002, Ridley High School. Played for two great coaches, Ralph Batty at Batty, right?
Yep.
And John Waller.
Yep.
And then the Kutztown. And there it is now. Founder of Next Level Athletes at the Fort Delco Gym. So you can look them up on Facebook.
Yeah, you can look up Fort Delco Gym on Facebook.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah, they have their own website, and then you can look me up on their
So,
Instagram.
boy, I'd love to go for a high school football preview. Maybe, but I can't wait for Dennis to get in here next week because we're gonna. So I'll send him a message later.
Me, Dennis, and Deanna ought to come on together.
Yeah. So Tammy, the mom, Strathaven grad.
Yep.
So yeah, she's fired up.
Oh, yeah.
I finally met her in person. Jean-Pierre, thanks a lot, my man.
Thank
Okay,
you,
another edition of Delco Sports 360. I'm Dave Burman. We hope to see you next Monday.